Hello and welcome to Eva's House of Spirit. I'm Eva, and today I thought I would do a viewer requested video. In my last video, my update and spiritual magical tag video, in the comments I had a viewer, I hope I'm not going to pronounce your name wrong, so forgive me if I pronounce it wrong, but a viewer by the name of Leila Wendell, I hope I pronounced that right, asked me to do a video, or asked if I could do a video showing my tarot collection. So I thought that would be something fun to do. I thought maybe you all would enjoy that. So that's what I'm here to do today. In the past, I have had other decks besides the ones I'm going to show you, but some have come and gone from my possession, either lost or given away or sold off for whatever reason. Things happen, you know, they come, they go. But I'm going to show you the decks that I have right now. I'm not going to be showing you oracle decks, just tarot decks, because that's really just the focus I want to do. I believe I have, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 11 decks to show you. I actually have 12, but one of them, I have no idea where I put it. The one that I don't have here to show you is, it's actually a book and deck set. It's called the Tarot Sutra. It's basically the Rider-Waite in fairly big cards, and it has a connection with the Kama Sutra, and it's like a set where you can, you know, draw cards and, you know, use it in relation with the Kama Sutra to kind of have some fun with your love life. And it is pretty cool, you know, how there's that blend of like the tarot symbolism, and then there's the whole Kama Sutra connected to it. Unfortunately, I have no idea where I put the set. I put it away somewhere, and it's put away for now. That being said, I'm going to move on along, and I'm going to show you some of my decks. I think I'm going to start with my mini decks. The first one I would like to show you is my mini Hansen Roberts deck. First I'm going to show you the back of the cards. That's the back. And then I'm going to show you the fronts of the cards. Some of them anyway. This deck is very based upon the Rider-Waite. The art, of course, is different, but it's essentially, this is just very based on the Rider-Waite. So if you're just starting out, the Hansen Roberts deck is a good deck to get because it's not like super difficult to, you know, to read. I find anyway. I find the decks that are very based on the Rider-Waite, or the Rider-Waite decks themselves, are very good for those that are starting out to learn tarot, because for some reason I have found that they're just really not like easy to read per se, but easier to read for some reason. They just kind of like click, where like some of the more complex decks that kind of branch away from the Rider-Waite imagery a little bit, those sometimes you really, I think, have to be in touch with your feelings and your, you know, intuitive or psychic senses. Okay, so there's that. There's the nice little Hansen Roberts deck. And then the next deck I'm going to show you is, of course, my Rider-Waite mini. It's the backs of the little cards. And most of you are familiar with the imagery of the Rider-Waite. This just happens to be the mini deck, you know. Some of these cards are actually not here. They're actually with a reading that I'm currently doing. So this is most of my mini Rider-Waite. 5 of these cards are actually with a reading that is in progress. But they will be returned to my little pouch. I have these little pouches that I actually got, funny enough, on vacation last year. I went to Bermuda, and I went on a cruise. I was on the Celebrity Summit. I took a celebrity cruise. And on the ship, there was this jewelry store that was selling these little pouches for $1 each. And I got a bunch of them. And I thought those would be really cool for things like tarot cards and stones, you know, so I got like a bunch. So, okay, anyway, back to what I'm showing you. This deck, I don't have a little pouch for this one, but this is called the Harmonious Tarot. It's another mini deck. Just some of the cards are backwards. Okay. These are the backs of the Harmonious Tarot. And this is the mini. I think there is a full-size version of this one as well. Just like I'm pretty sure there is a full-size version of Hansen Roberts, and of course there is a full-size version of the Rider-Waite. These are just like super, super pretty cards. They're just, they feel very earthy. Just showing you some examples. Let me pull something from further in. Yeah, these they have very like almost, I want to say almost, I don't know if, almost Art Nouveau a little bit. They have an almost like 1920s kind of feel to the artwork. They're very cute. This deck, it's kind of got like a lot of like sort of gentle colors too, and a lot of golds, a lot of green, soft salmons, like very soft earthy colors. This feels like a really earthy sort of deck. So yeah, if you're looking for something small, something that's kind of earthy feeling, maybe the Harmonious Tarot. Very, very pretty little deck. Once again, that's the back. So there's that. It comes in a little box like that. Again, I don't have a pouch for this one just at the moment, but I don't find that, you know, it's so much that you keep them in a, you know, pretty pouch necessarily, as long as you just keep them safe and you take care of them. You know, you can keep your cards in a box if you don't happen to have a pouch for a while. It's not like the cards won't work for you. I think traditionally when they advise you to keep them in like a silk wrap or in a box or in something, it's more about respecting the cards, you know. Keep them well, keep them safe. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, I'm having a little trouble here because the little booklet doesn't want to let me close the flap. Give me just one moment. Okay, I've closed that. Okay, and now I want to show you, there are some decks that are only major arcanas. I mean, just the major arcana in certain decks. And there are people that read that way. There's people that get a full deck and actually remove all the minors and only read with the majors. Though for some of us that may seem like, whoa, that's kind of weird. Why would you omit part of the deck? Well, there are people that feel that you don't really need the rest of the deck. I've tried it out. I find that it's possible to give an accurate and good reading without the minors, but it's really I think a personal preference whether you want to read with the minors and the majors, or if you want to just omit the minors and just read with the majors. There's nothing crazy about that. People do that. I have, excuse me. Sorry, it's early yet. I needed some coffee. I have a deck here that is like a DIY deck. I printed this myself from images online of a particular deck called the Victorian deck, but I didn't print the minors. I only printed the majors because I only wanted the majors. Not that the minors were bad looking. They were styled in the same way, but I just felt for what I was doing, for what I wanted these for, I just wanted to make a major arcana deck only. I did the backs of the cards like so. I printed a little pattern. So they all, I'll show you, they all have that little pattern on the back. These are printed on a nice cardstock. This deck, though, is just black and white, and it has very Victorian imagery, as you can see. Hence the name, the Victorian Tarot. You know? But this one, I printed this off of the internet. I made this little Major Arcana deck myself. So there is that. And then I'm going to show you another deck that I actually bought that is a Major Arcana deck only. This one is a collector's item. It's the Gothic Tarot. And I got this at a flea market in Pennsylvania years ago. I mean, years ago. It had to be maybe more than 10 years ago. And this one, it is a collector's item. Here's the little thing, the insert that comes with the deck. It comes in the box. And then there is a little card here. This is a deck by Leila Wendell. And this actually says on this little card that my deck is number 79 of 1,000. There was only 1,000 printed of this deck. Now what's really cool about this deck is all of the images are collaged from cemetery scenes, you know. That's the Empress. And then just, you know, Leila Wendell used like statues and imagery, things related to cemeteries to make this deck. And it's glossy, it's got some laminate, and that's the backs of the cards. They have these like interesting little, you know, backs to them. The death card looks pretty cool. Let me just find that for you. That is the death card. Yeah, it's just really artistic, really collagey, but it's only the Major Arcana. I have used these. I have had accuracy with this deck too. But this deck, it's a collector's item, and it's something that you really cannot buy anymore. Maybe secondhand, but I don't know what you would pay for it at this point. But yeah, that's something I got years ago. I still have the original box and everything. Interesting little find there. I don't use these to read very often, though, because they are a collector's item, and I worry that something may happen to them. But anyhow, let me show you this cute deck here. I just got this as a gift maybe last year. This is Los Scarabeo's Tarot of the Gnomes. Very cute little deck. But honestly, I have yet to use this deck. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I just don't feel in flow with it yet. I guess because it's very cartoony and it's very sort of cutesy, and maybe it's hard for me to, I don't want to say take it seriously. It's hard for it sort of is that, though. I mean, how do you take it seriously when you're trying to do a reading? But I guess I could, you know, and I will eventually try. But it's just sort of like really cute and novel. That's the back with the little gnomes on the back of it. It's very whimsical. There's little images like this. That's like the tower. The devil. Very whimsical little deck, you know. But I guess I like imagery that is a little more traditional or serious. I have had other decks. There was one, it was like the Halloween Tarot or something, where it was also very whimsical, and it wasn't that it was a bad deck. It just didn't feel like it was my kind of thing, you know. It was cute and all, but I don't have that deck anymore. And it just wasn't my thing. It didn't resonate with me as much. I'm not saying these cards won't resonate with me. I just have not tried them. I have not made that connection. And I do believe you have to connect with your cards in order to be able to read very well with them. You need to develop a relationship with the cards. You know, they have to be around you a lot. You have to work with them several times. And then eventually it'll just feel like there's that natural flow, you know. It helps, too, if you choose your own decks. I don't believe in that whole thing that, oh, you know, it has to be gifted to you. I also don't believe in the whole, you know, oh, don't haggle over the price of cards. I don't believe in that at all. Or over the price of anything really magical. I don't believe in that. I believe that's just kind of a thing that somebody made up because they were looking to make money and they didn't want to haggle with people. Anyhow, what else can I show you? I'm looking for any significant. This is the Judgment card. Yeah, there are a lot of cute little cards. The Chariot. So that's the Tarot of the Gnomes. It's a cute little whimsical deck. This was a gift, and I do think it's very nice, and I will try it out sometime. But I will probably try it out not for client readings right away, but for my own personal use at first until I feel a connection, if I feel a connection, which I'm sure I will develop one. I just tend to like sort of more of the serious, you know, kind of imagery. Beautiful, serious kind of imagery is what I usually go for. What else can I show you? I have another deck here. It's based on the Rider-Waite. I don't remember who actually made the deck, but it has a copyright on it. It's copyrighted to Giovanni Caselli. And it's just a regular deck based very much on the Rider-Waite. Very similar to Rider-Waite. But it's not Hansen Roberts and it's not Rider-Waite. It's another deck, and the backs are just plain pink. I use this deck occasionally. This is one of my less fancy decks. It's really not ooh-ah, you know. It's just kind of a deck that I happened to acquire along the way. So there's that. I don't know, again, what the official title of that deck is, but it is copyrighted to Giovanni Caselli. Then, now I'm going to start moving into my more interesting decks. I have this one here. I got secondhand. It's the Navigator's Tarot of the Mystic Sea. And this has very interesting sort of imagery, and these actually have like keywords on the cards. For example, this is the Page of Cups, and the keyword is reduction. These are very colorful, very interesting to look at. I'm sure there is some psychology wrapped up in these images. This is the Archpriestess, who I guess is she's the equivalent of the High Priestess in most decks, but she's called the Archpriestess here. And let me just show you a few more. It's the Hermit. And the key word is exaltation. It looks sort of shamanistic there. Oh, I just dropped a few. No, excuse me, I have to pick those up. Of course I would drop cards in the middle of showing them to you. Oh, there's one here that landed face up that I do want to show you. The Moon card, it's very pretty. And now I'm going to show you the backs of the cards. The Tree of Life. Tell me that's not pretty neat. So yeah, I think this deck, I believe it's a deck that was around, I think it's from, what does it say? 1990, copyright 1996 US Games, it says. So this is a deck from the 90s. And yes, I have the little book that goes with it too. I got this secondhand. I got this from eBay. Nice little deck. I like the whole variation with the imagery. So there's that. And let me see, what else do I want to show you? I want to show you the Legacy of the Divine Tarot. This is a pretty cool deck. Okay. This is the back of the cards, very steampunky sort of style. And then we have really beautiful imagery. Beautiful imagery. Again, this is the Legacy of the Divine Tarot. The maker of these cards has several decks that are similar looking, you know, with his artistic style. That is the Devil card. Sort of steampunky, this deck, a little bit. Queen of Coins. Very beautiful to look at, I think. The King of Swords. And maybe I'll show you just like one or two more. It's the Nine of Wands. And what else can I show you? Death. I'll show you the Death card. That is the Death card. Tell me that is not like one of the coolest Death cards ever. So yeah, this is the Legacy of the Divine Tarot. Also one of my favorite decks. I really like this deck. It's the back and the front. Very cool cards, the Legacy of the Divine. I actually have the book and the set box for this as well, but I'm not going to sit here flipping through a book with you. I just wanted to show you the really cool, you know, deck. And I'm going to show you two more decks. The first of these last two, this is one of my very favorite. The Golden Botticelli. These cards are so freaking beautiful. So freaking beautiful. I love the artwork of Sandra Botticelli. This is the back. And then the fronts of the cards. They actually have gold leaf. I don't think it's real gold leaf, but it's like they're metallic-y gold on the actual cards. Every card has gold in the imagery. I'm trying to turn it so you can see. Here's the Three of Coins. See, there's like all gold. Very beautiful cards. I love these cards. This is like probably my. It's hard for me to judge between this one and my Art Nouveau deck that I'm going to show you next. But these are like, this one and the next one are like probably my two favorites, I think. Though the Legacy of the Divine also comes pretty close. I love all my decks, but you know, certain ones I'm just like really like, yeah, man, just really into. This is the Empress. And again, there's all the little gold accents. I'm just turning the card to show you as the light catches the gold. So you can see, you know, there is, it's just really cool that there's like golden accenting on these cards. You know, very neat. So yeah, that's the Golden Botticelli deck. And yeah, this is also by Scarabeo. They make some freaking awesome decks. And my last deck is really, really freaking cool. This last one is out of print. This one, if you try to buy this secondhand from somebody, there are people out there who literally will try to charge you a few $100s for this deck. This is the backing of the deck. It has like, it's blue with like gold. And, oops, one of my cards are backwards. Okay. It comes with a significator card. Some people use the significator, or some people will choose a significator from the court cards within the deck. But this actually comes with the deck. And then we have the imagery. This is the Art Nouveau Tarot, but there are more than one deck called the Art Nouveau. There's actually, I think, a current deck or decks that has the same name, but it's not the same deck. This one is out of print. This one you would have to probably either pay a lot for or hunt like crazy to find. So I'm always very protective of this deck because if something were to happen to this, guess I'm shit out. Excuse the French. The This was actually one of my first decks. My very first deck was a Rider-Waite deck that I have since given away. I gave it away years ago to someone that was interested in learning about witchcraft, and I kind of guided her and I gave her the deck. God knows if she still even has it. But this deck, before I came upon my Golden Botticelli, or before I came upon my Legacy of the Divine or my other decks, this was like my favorite deck. This deck I was in love with, and I am in love with still. I have a very strong connection with this deck. We go way back. I'll show you the Fool card. Love that Fool card. Very cool. And I'll show you the Death card. Yep. Yeah, me and this deck go way back. I was reading with this deck when I was like 15, 16 years old. I'm 34 years old now. I still have it. Yay. Still intact. It didn't get lost. That's an achievement sometimes. Sometimes it's easy, you know, with certain things. Life gets hectic, things get misplaced, lost, whatever. Anyhow, so yeah, so these are the decks that I have to show you. These are the decks, the tarot decks that I currently own. I did not bother to go into my oracle decks because that is a whole nother thing. But I thought maybe seeing these might be a little fun and interesting. I know that I don't have as extensive of a collection as some people have, but I guess 11 decks is pretty decent. I don't go too crazy with acquiring them, you know, like, because A, I don't have a lot of money always to spend, and B, I don't want to have so many that, like, it's ridiculous. You know, I try to keep my decks in rotation. I try to use every single deck, even if, you know, some get used more than others. I really do try to keep them in rotation. I don't like to own something that doesn't have, or doesn't see any use, you know what I'm saying? So yes, the Gnome deck, that will be getting used. I just need to develop a relationship with it. But anyhow, I hope that you've enjoyed this. If you have any questions, comments, thoughts, feelings, whatever, please share them below in the comment box and I will do my best to address those. And if you also have a lot of, you know, tarot decks and you'd like to do a VR to this and kind of show them, well, I welcome that too. I would love to see your tarot decks. Even if you just have like one or two, hey, I'd still like to see them. So feel free to VR if you want to kind of do like a sort of tarot show and tell. And with that said, have a great day. Blessed be in Ashe. Stay awesome. I will see you next time.